Rodgers was making a lot of the same purchases as her. Now, how I interpret that, being a real street, Rodgers was turning the same tricks and dates as Harnden. Within minutes of meeting and being around Marayna, he could tell that she wasn't about that life. And even after gauging that, he still followed through to participate in this murder. What's going on, everybody? It's your girl B Octavia, and I am back with another video. Welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, my name is B Octavia. I am from Washington, D.C., 27 years old. We're going to jump right into this video because it's a lot that I have to break down. Y'all know, with all of the news coverage and blogs that there are, these NBA players slash former NBA players, especially them, the former NBA players, we're losing a lot of them, rest in peace to them, but a lot of them is catching charges and just going crazy, for lack of a better word. You know, they catching murder charges, drug charges, all of these things. Today's going to be about one of those. Y'all probably don't know Chance Comanche. I ain't know him before this. You feel what I'm saying? Somebody should know you for doing your thing on the court. He's known for this now. A former Stockton Kings basketball player. And just to put it into perspective, Stockton Kings is the G League. It's a affiliation of sorts with the NBA. I think that once they go through that and they prevail, they might wiggle their way into the NBA. I don't know how that go. He has been accused and actually confessed of kidnapping and killing a woman in Las Vegas. Court documents state that Mr. Comanche, who is 27 years old, plotted the murder with his former girlfriend. And I'm going to be putting their pictures up as I go because this is going to be like a tangled web of BS that Comanche should have left. He should have just played the basketball and minded his business. He plotted the murder with his former girlfriend, Sakari Harnden. And they plotted this murder in between his b-ball games. He ain't have other things to worry about, but I'll continue. The victim in this case was a 23-year-old medical assistant by the name of Marayna Rodgers. The arrest report says that Rodgers and Harnden were sex workers. So they are in communication. They know each other. Comanche don't know Rodgers. You feel what I'm saying? So they're planning to meet up with a trick, for lack of a better word, which is Comanche posing as a trick. So these two females is planning to meet up for a double date with a young man. And so they all got together, and it was late December the 5th. And on the early morning of December 6th is when this murder occurred. 23-year-old Rodgers was strangled, put in a ditch, and covered with rocks and left in the desert. As far as a motive, it began to unfold shortly after a friend of Rodgers, who also does sex work, reported her friend missing. So she reported Marayna Rodgers missing on December 7th. The friend knew that Marayna was going with Sakari and also stated to police that Harnden is always around dangerous people. So Miss Rodgers' boyfriend notified police that a few days before Marayna went missing, Marayna and Harnden got into an altercation. They got into this altercation on December the 4th. The altercation went down because Harnden told Rodgers that she believed her boyfriend was responsible for a double murder that happened. She told Marayna Rodgers this in confidence. Now, they got into it because word started to get back to a lot of different people So Sakari Harnden was like, you're telling all these people this, that, and the fourth of what I told you. Those words of Sakari thinking that her boyfriend did it just so happened to probably be true because he in jail for a double murder that happened in California. This information of them getting into it shortly before Marayna went missing was a huge motive in her being missing in the first place, right? Other reasons why were revealed by Comanche himself. During his interview with police, he said that Harnden kept being told that Marayna had plans to either get Sakari smoked or do it herself. People was also telling her that, yeah, she gonna set you up if you don't give her a Rolex watch. Harnden also stated to Comanche that Rodgers was making a lot of the same purchases as her. Now, how I interpret that, being a real street bitch, Rodgers was turning the same tricks and dates as Harnden. And so the plan began to form of what they was going to do, how they was going to do it, X, Y, and Z. Comanche actually asked another fella to kill Rodgers. And he passed it off. You know, he wasn't trying to do that. Good on your part, bruh. You know what I'm saying? But he probably in some sketchy shit, so not good on your... You know what I'm saying? Whatever. The murder went down shortly after the Stockton Kings played in a game on December 5th. Harnden picked Comanche up from his hotel, and then they went to go pick Rodgers up. Once they all got together, they all first went to go get alcohol. And while they're en route to go get these things, Harnden and Comanche are texting each other back and forth about what they're going to do next. Comanche told police that within minutes of meeting and being around Marayna, he could tell that she wasn't about that life. Meaning that if it came down to it, Rodgers wasn't going to harm Harnden. And even after gauging that from Rodgers, he still followed through and continued on to participate in this murder. The only person that had a true problem with Marayna was Sakari Harnden. I don't know how she got her ex-boyfriend, who it seemed like he been an ex-boyfriend for a minute, and you got a boyfriend in jail. I don't know how you got the ex-boyfriend that's a basketball player to help you with this. I don't know. So after driving to a private location, they all were preparing to get freaky. Let's just say how it is and what it is and what we, you know what I mean? Rodgers agreed to have her hands zip tied. And she agreed to zip tie her hands as a form of a kinky little set. A kinky request by Comanche. Shortly after zip tying her, they began to strangle her. Comanche told police that he used the HDMI cord while Harnden used her hands. It didn't take long for police to link both individuals to be investigated in Marayna Rodgers being missing. Police collected incriminating text as well as location data that showed them and the victim traveling together. Surprisingly, Sakari Harnden reported Marayna missing too. But thereafter, she showed her possible involvement and she raised suspicion to her because she would not answer the police's calls. She refused all calls from police. Once she was actually taken in and she was questioned by police, she stated that Rodgers left her in an Uber to go with another date. But there was no record of a Uber being obtained by the victim or the suspect, aka the concerned friend that Sakari was trying to pose as. Once Harnden and Comanche were brought in for questioning, Comanche was the first to flip. He confessed to his role his former girlfriend's role, him trying to hire somebody for it. He laid it all out there. And most importantly, he confessed to where they dumped the body. This is a huge lesson for a lot of young women. You know, before we hit 30, we must know that once you get into it with somebody, and if it's not a whole bunch of people around to be a witness to y'all reconciling and y'all getting y'all feelings out there and hearing each other out, don't meet up with that person. Don't meet up with that person by your lonely. Do not, just don't do it. No matter how cool they try to seem, that to me raises suspicion. Like, the fact that we was just getting into it and then you text me or call me and say, girl, I'm sorry about that. I want to make it up to you with this date and that date. And this. Nah, sound good. Sound good. Give me some time. And let's see where it's at for real, you know? You can't just trust anybody like that nowadays. Especially anybody that's in the streets. Like, Marayna probably knew her for a while. She probably turned tricks with her before. But after you get into it with somebody, nah. And sometimes shit like this catch you off guard because you don't think a person is capable of necessarily hurting you specifically. You can't put that past nobody. So it's good that he confessed. And it's to the point now where she don't need to say shit. And she probably didn't have no plans to. She probably want to stick to this whole shit of, I was a concerned friend. Or maybe she going to try to flip it and say that she was held against her will by Comanche when you picked him up. You know how criminals try to turn it. You know, I feel like she should get a lot more time because she is why the plan was in motion. She was the person that knew Marayna Rodgers through and through. She's the person that knew where she would be at or how she could get her to come back around so that she could hurt her. And watch, she's going to be a person that's on one of these documentaries however many years later that's saying, oh, I regret this, oh, I regret that. Fuck you. Y'all could have just let that girl go ahead and be a medical assistant or a prostitute if she wanted to be. And it wasn't Comanche's place to even get in that. Like, you're not even with this girl. She might still be giving you sex, but she giving a lot of people sex. That shouldn't still be a person that you're hanging around. Or you can hang around, but not like that. Not to get involved in a bullshit. You let girls like that just pass by. So, beautiful girl, but she didn't believe in herself enough to be anything other than a prostitute. So, rest in peace to Marayna Rodgers. You didn't deserve that. You had some type of heart to go back around them. But we got to learn to protect not just our shell. We got to protect our aura. We got to protect how good of people we are. Because we give that shit out on a daily. We give that shit out to so many people that don't deserve it. When we know that they don't deserve it, it's time to move around and stay the fuck away from them. Because if they don't plan on killing you now, they're going to try some shit down the line when you get popping. Don't even do it, you know? Not a good idea. So rest in peace to her, and I will be giving y'all updates on this case as we go, because I want her to get more time. I'm not saying that he shouldn't get whatever he get. I don't care, you know, but a person that's the mastermind deserves 100,000 years if that's possible for us to do. Okay? Yeah. And, you know, for a 23-year-old who is a medical assistant, like, come on, the family of her, I mean, at a certain point, it's nothing that you can say or do to stop somebody from doing, a grown person from doing what they want to do, right? They gonna go out